Okay. Feel free to start. So I'll just say welcome everybody to the Morpheus Open House, and we're covering the responsive design that a incredible amount of work and really nice results. And Uday from Marist College will be presenting primarily, and we'll be looking to get your feedback and input as well. So anytime you're ready, Uday.
Yep, just a second. It's sharing now. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll start with walking through the actual application. So this is the home page, the gateway page, as we call it, and just want to show you the responsiveness here, which is basically the same exact thing, but we actually decided recently to actually not use the left navigations in the mobile menu or collapse completely, so that we can use the whole space for the actual content. And then there is a button always to pop out the left navigation for the tools. This is standard even after you log in. So if you log in as an admin in this scenario, this thing stays there, and then you have the tools always on that side basically. And this is the new one which we added, is the right navigation, which pulls out the sites. It's all sites basically, every site you are in. And when you go to the bigger screen, it just uses the space, whatever you have, to fill up all the sites. And also the recent one which we just did is, I just show you that in the preferences where you set the active sites. Oh, sorry, I think I used this for that purpose. So probably I think I haven't updated my code repository, but so we have eliminated the three-step preferences. This is the old one, just to show you. This is the actual active sites which you want to show it in the top, and these are the remaining stuff which are active, and these are non-active sites which you don't want to show up in your preferences. So we actually merged these two functionalities here because we don't want to go beyond one line of displaying the sites list. If you do that, it will be not looking good. Like you expand the whole navigation bar to 2 lines or 3 lines depending on the active sites you have, and we don't want that to happen because it doesn't look good at all. So what we did is rather just use the one line and then have an extra pop-out navigation button so that you get this drawer when your page is overflowed. So in this scenario, there is no left navigation because you don't have more sites anymore.
Hey, Uday, I'm just going to, sorry to interrupt, I'm just going to check. It looked like at least one person, Becky, is not able to hear anything. So I was just doing an audio check. Can everyone hear? Okay. Everyone can hear? Okay, great. Sorry, Uday, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to make sure that folks were able to hear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever the sites overflow, it automatically shows up this way. So you get the all sites navigation button, and then the same thing, but it gives you every site you are in, including the ones which you already have on the top. So that's one major change which we did in the past few weeks. Another thing is the home. Instead of making it my workspace as a full name, we thought it was much easier to have it as a home always. And also, when you go to the mobile view, this just moves up because this part would be removed and it's moved into here. But we always want this home navigation easy because if you go to a different site and if you want to come back to your home, it's always right here. So just click that and you are on your workspace, basically. And so, yeah, it's much easier now. The left navigation is the tools and the right navigation is the sites. And you have the log out, and the home here on the top along with your user preferences. I can log in. And also, this is one thing which we added, the logout confirmation. This, we still have to see. I think it's useful in the scenario because people have troubles clicking on the mobile screens because the navigation, suppose let's assume that user wants to navigate to a different site and he clicked here. But instead of this, he might have clicked here because of the fat finger. So it could be quite possible he wants this click, but he did here, and he doesn't want to immediately log out because sometimes it does happen in the mobile screen. So we added this small thing which just confirms the thing do you really want to log out. If you say okay, then it does. And we're still thinking of to decide on what, if we should use it only in mobile screens or if we should use it in the whole application, no matter whether in a mobile view or in a desktop view. That's still under decision. It's not confirmed what we should be doing. And this change is not yet made to the track, so this is still under progress. So I will log in as a normal user. I'll show you user screen. So the user, since he has a profile, that profile picture will show up here, and instead of the full name, because administrator does not have the profile to load it for him. The rest is the same. He gets this navigation tool, and when he goes to the bigger screen, he gets the name and everything, and he can go do the actual stuff, whatever he wants. And that pretty much is the recent changes we did. And most of the functionality is done as far as the responsive design for the overall portal. But we have some small issues with the tool itself. I can show you. If you go to, let's assume if you go to my workspace, I think if you go to worksite setup, I think this is okay. Yeah, beyond a particular point, you see this is getting double scrolled. So most of the tables are the only things which have it. Whenever the tool has a table views, they are a little bit problematic if you go to smaller screens, like very smaller screens. I think the tablet view is fine, but the small mobile views would be a little bit tough to actually deal with this large content in a small mobile screen. That way still has to be done. Beyond that, the overall portal responsive design is pretty much stable. I think
so.
That's pretty much it. And yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that might be. I'm just curious if that made sense to everybody, or if anyone had any questions or clarifications on this. And I think Uday, wasn't there also this piece? I'm not sure if it's in your version of the QA server with the mashing up of the new dashboard tool, what was called the Mic Workspace tool.
Let me see here. Let me test. No, I think so. Oh, you mean changing the dashboard to my workspace?
Yeah, wasn't okay. Right. There was like a mashup. What was the dashboard plus this, right, with the recent activity assignments and events plus the synoptic views for the other tools. I believe that was something we were either going to do or was maybe already in trunk, or that Chuck Severance is working on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this is a trunk as of today morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wilma writes dashboard plus home in my workspace. So yeah, that was in their change.
Okay.
So again, just curious for folks, especially folks who are new to this and may not have seen it before. Did that all make sense to you? Do you have any questions, comments? Dee Dee says she likes the confirm layout for the fat fingering. I can also we had a lot of discussion around how to handle the My Sites display. There was a lot of discussion around that, right? Because the current version of Sakai, you kind of specify how many sites go into your top view, which Ujay showed earlier. Now it's more of an automatic expansion based on how much screen space you have. So that it's going to change that whole preferences area. Right. Right now, it's more screen space specific in the new version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The main thing is.
And Chuck S. wrote, he has made no progress. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And just adding a point to that. Just so that the point there is basically to make it more consistent UI, so that no matter what screen you have, it's always consistent, and no matter your settings, you don't spoil your UI look and feel.
Some of the other discussions we had around it were things like, what to show on the right when you have more sites available. Do we show a number there? Do we show a chevron? The decision was ultimately just to show a chevron, so it's like it fills up which sites. And I forget if we've gotten to the point, Uday, of being able to specify which sites are in the order, so that if you have the most important sites up at the top, they'll be the ones that show first. And can you remind me of what that was?
That still is controlled by the actual order you have it in your preferences. Like basically, you set your order in your preferences, and that's the order it picks up.
Cool.
So this is the order, and that's the order it's shown here. So the order is the same. Yeah.
Dave E.S., how does that work? Most important site, sequence and preferences, and I believe what you were just saying is sequence and preferences, right?
Yeah. This is exactly what it follows here.
Yeah. So Dr. Chuck says there are only 2 columns now in the preferences, so they've been reduced. So it's basically, all the sites that you want to see and the sites that you currently really don't want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what are some of the other discussions that kind of came up. Oh, another one discussion was when going to the mobile view, that whether to show the icons or not, or just make them in that pop down. And there was a lot of discussion on that when you're in that mobile view, you might not really remember what those icons mean. Mm-hmm. So to make them completely disappear, to give you more real estate, and then have them appear with the text in that, I don't know what you call that, a right chevron or whatever. And let's see, a couple more comments in chat. It would be great to navigate around all tools using small device, i.e. iPhone, and create JIRAs for those tools that have problems with responsive design. Yeah, that's a great idea, Mariano.
Yep, absolutely, yeah.
And Chuck Severin says we need to come up with a document telling how to alter tool markup to be responsive.
Yes, that also has it. I think the dashboard tool is using specific bootstrap markup, I think, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, we should come up with a markup, definitely.
And I'm repeating stuff from the chat because it's make sure it gets on the recording. So there's some kudos to the idea for getting around navigating all the tools that Mariano had. And then Chuck Severin says, I think that making tool markup
Yes, yes, I think I was lost. Oh yeah, you're back.
My audio got lost for a second. Thank you. So yeah, so making so we need really clear specs because it can involve a lot of people involved in the work. So anyway, I think it looks really great, and I'm just curious what other people. It sounds like so far the feedback's positive. We're open, any kind of feedback or suggestions or questions. We kind of flew through that pretty quickly. So Uday, do you have any other thoughts on what the next steps are?
Yeah, as Mariano said, I think the next step would be probably the tools, attacking the tools specific thing, and basically coming out with the markup for the tools so that everyone follows the standard, and we can make it as a guide so that we can um, make everything consistent around the Sakai, basically for all the tools. Um, I think, yeah, at least for now, yeah, we can go parallel for these two things. Like, if we can identify the tools which have a problem and also come up with the specs at the same time, we can, once we have the final conclusion for these two, the final list of the tools which had a problem, so we can just start attacking everything.
From a QA perspective, how are we going to have to manage things? Are we going to have to test, I guess, get people to test on the smaller device, or just maybe shrink their screen like you're doing and test in two different modes, do you anticipate? Or will we be able to just focus primarily on testing the functionality of tools and it should be fine,
Yeah,
with smaller screens? Or
yeah, I actually prefer actual devices, but I think actually Chrome has a functionality where you if you click on F12 and you can choose your models, like which phone you want to, which device you want to view it as. If you say iPhone 4, that brings to the phone resolution and see, and it will let you know that this your application would look like this in iPhone 4. So
is that which browser is that?
this is Chrome.
Oh,
Chrome
Chrome.
has it.
Okay, and
Yeah, it has its. If you just click on F12, it will automatically bring you to this. Uh,
well, okay. I've got an F12 on my Mac, so that should work right.
So it has a whole list of things. I'm not quite sure how accurately it will be because of the browser engines they use in the backend, but because actual iPhones use Safari thing, so I don't know how much it would actually be similar to the actual engine. At least the screen resolutions are at least perfect in this scenario. So yeah, and also in the Jira we have Morpheus tag, so anything related to these things can always be added in the Jira with Morpheus tag for that.
Right, that's a good reminder. So I'll put that in the chat here. There's a label for those of us who use, and of course, if you get involved in the QA, you'll also be helping use Jira to report issues. And there's a field called labels, and under the field called labels, what we're using is just a tag Morpheus, all lowercase, and it is case sensitive. Oh, good. Thanks for bringing that up to show it. And so if you just tag your ticket with Morpheus that's related to, to the change in screen size, or looks like it might be related to responsive design issues, that'd be really, really helpful. Because then we have a filter that developers can look at and kind of go through those issues. It's not under components, actually.
Yeah.
It's a little further down. Yeah, it's where labels are.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Well,
yeah,
thanks, Uday. That was really,
questions?
really good. Yeah, just keep open for any questions. Thanks, Didi. Thank you on behalf of Uday and the team. And it was also UX testing, so thanks, Wilma, for that. And yeah, that was also really cool that Wilma and Louisa were taking some of the suggestions that we were getting earlier on and getting some feedback on those ideas so we can, narrow down to practical, what's practical versus theoretical.
Yes.
That was really helpful. Wait, what's that? So thanks, Mariano, and for kudos to Uday and Chuck and other folks for great teamwork, and I think Eduardo Rey also, and there were several other people. And Chuck Severance writes, one thing I think we need to do is have a constant to find the best skin. Oh, contest to find the best skin. Oh, so I think you mean like the colors and color schemes, things like that? Focus on pretty. What do you mean, Dave, by let others focus on pretty? Oh, while the engineers do the real work. Right.
Yeah, there are actually a lot of things we can go on, and also there are the color theories, and also they have to support the actual accessibility, and yeah, it keeps going. So, but again, the Morpheus is very pretty simple to actually make any changes, those kind of things. So, yeah.
So Dave says it'll be interesting to see how this folds into our own instance. And a couple of echoes of people saying, yeah, definitely making sure it looks really pretty is important, and also consider accessibility issues. Bye, Dr. Chuck. Thanks for dropping in. And Dave, want to see this? What does that mean? Well, the accessibility group want to see it? Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely giving them a heads up on that. Thanks, Wilma. Any other questions or comments or suggestions? Let's say, I see one from Dee. We could have the Morpheus skin vote at the Sakai virtual conference. That's the really cool idea. I guess in order to have a skin vote, we would have to then, Dee, I guess, figure out how we get people to, to submit skins. Like Uday, if we had people submit skins just as like screenshots or PowerPoints or something, like this being static just to show the concept, would that be sufficient for for a developer to then take that and put that into the skin, or what would you need?
I think color codes is actually preferred, the color codes, like a primary color and the secondary color, the text color, the background color. So in the technical terms, they call it as a style guide, basically.
So they submit like if they do screenshots, people can kind of visualize it. They'd also want to have the color codes on there as well.
Hex or RGB, yeah, hex or RGB both works, but hex is the normal direct used in the CSS. But yeah,
is there
color values? Yeah,
hex or RGB?
Yeah, both work. Yeah.
Is there a way to like let folks? Is there a way to like list out of what the different elements are that have different colors and kind of what they are now, and that way, folks might be keyed into thinking about, oh, for that element, I want to use this color, and for this other element, I want to use some other color. That my question does not make any sense, or?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I had a question, and I'm noticing before I go to that again, Dave says specific page for screenshot. That would help colors also change with behavior. I'm not sure I understand what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. Looking at this, I can specify usually like simple things like the major things are the primary and the secondary colors. So if I'm talking about primary and secondary colors, the primary is basically the one which you majorly see here, like the dark contrast, which is the header for the site and header for the tools, and the button colors. Those are the primary colors. And the secondary would be like the second essential, like the background for the sites, background for the tools, background for the tool header or the tool navigation, and the actual background for the website, obviously. These are the actual different colors, and mostly we will be having some contrast. If you look at the buttons, those are contrasts of the actual blue color here. So those have some almost similar contrast to that. So yeah, if you come up with some 2 or 3 colors as the primary colors you think it would be the better option, then we can say, okay, you apply this here and see how it looks, or you apply this here and see how it looks. That's how it's basically done in the designing of this UI.
So I see Sean writes, we need a system style guide for that, Neil, because my question was, is there a way to, what you were just actually answering, was there a way of identifying which elements need colors defined? And it sounds like there might be a way to do that pretty simply by focusing on the foreground colors, right? And then Dave is suggesting keep the color specific, keep the suggestion specific. So he says if we can specify which parts are up for change in the contest, we can focus just on those colors and so people know what to focus on. That sounds like a fun idea. Are you up for that, Uday?
Yeah.
I don't think you wouldn't have to do a lot of work. I think we could, we can get like some other folks to actually kind of run the contest, so to speak, but maybe just get your guidance in terms of how we word it, and what kind of feedback specifically we ask people for.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be fine. Yeah.
Cool. And then we need to figure out like what we give away to the winner. Like, do we give them a little Sakai doll or or what?
Yeah, actually, I don't know if I can pull up the.
What's that?
I just want to pull up the Sakai Morpheus documentation from Sakai GitHub.
Okay.
So that it has some basic steps like how to change your theme, basically using your existing. So I would say this is the only. So the default .css is basically the only file you basically touch to change the colors, and everything the colors are basically here. These are the only colors you want to change or you may be changing.
So you're looking at GitHub?
Yeah.
Under the Sakai project, I presume?
Yep. This is exactly the file you have all the colors for this Morpheus UI. And this is where you basically change these colors. Beyond this page, we don't have any colors codes in the whole Morpheus. This is the place where it actually picks the actual values, the color values. So you can control everything.
Are you showing this on your screen, or I didn't see if you pasted a link or what to the specific file.
If anyone wants to play try the changing the colors and changing the default themes, this is basically the documentation. This is the place where they actually change those values.
Right. I was trying to figure out
how
what
it
place
looks.
Oh, I see. You got the link in there. Cool. Okay. So GitHub. .com, Sakai project, Sakai blob, master, reference library, source Morpheus master. Okay.
So
cool.
This is your, there is one more documentation where you can see how to compile the skin. So yeah.
The question is there a way to modify the look via the code page and apply it to see what it looks like without having a Sakai instance to apply this to?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. Right. It sounds like that's what we'll need to figure out some of those details, Dave, maybe offline, and keep it simple for people and keep it simple for Uday.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you can go see and just to try it out, you can just take the home page, like the actual dashboard, and then apply your skin and change the colors, and then see how it looks and send it over, and then we can, see everyone to see. So, yeah, we can just pick one page and see. We can review beyond that.
Okay, well, I don't know. It feels to me like maybe we're wrapping up, but if there's other, I see that OneHo posted a link to
the
a place
compiling
how to
skin, yeah.
skin, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, OneHo has also been, I think, really helpful in this process. Guide to create a custom skin. So yeah, a whole bunch of people working behind the scenes. Okay. So are there any other things we need to talk about to kind of wrap up for today? Or feedback that?
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt, on behalf of all the people who are actually doing the work. What are you saying, Uday, that we're pretty much wrapping up?
Yeah, pretty much looks like I mean, we can figure out the next steps in the next coming meetings and see how it goes. But if you don't have any major things for now, we can back on.
Yeah, and so what I would suggest to folks is you have the link in the chat. If you need the link, email us to the QA server, and feel free to take it and play around with it. And then if you have, if there's things that you find that are confusing or that you have questions or suggestions, feel free to email. I mean, Uday, who do you think they should just email you directly, or me, or to the list? What do you think the best way for people to provide feedback is?
I think list is the better option because since it's almost putting it in the open now, so that's the way we think.
Yeah. So ideally, I guess post. Yeah, if you have feedback, ideally post a list. If you're not comfortable with that, then send it to me, and I'll forward it on to the team to look at. But because I know that some people, this may be your first view at this, and you may want some time to offline play with it a bit and see how it behaves on mobile devices and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind sending it to me, but I normally think it's better to have, if it's kind of a feedback, everyone's it's making it as a discussion would actually help. So.
Yeah, I agree. Just not everyone may be a member of the Sakai dev list, and because I assume that's me, right? So so we can send it on for them. And thanks, Dee. And so in terms, Davey, about the contest, we'll figure out the details and then send out to the list once we figure those out. All right. Well, thanks, Uday. Appreciate it very much, and all the hard work that you've done. And like I said, I think there's several others, right? One who's done work on this, and Eduardo Ray and Chuck Severance, and um, did that cover most of the people that have been involved with the technical stuff?
Yeah, yeah. University of Murcia, yeah, in Mariano, yeah, yeah.
Cool. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate you attending, and we'll keep you posted as we make more progress and constantly looking for input.
Yep.
Take care.
Thank you. Yep.
Thanks.